2 of the Outer Worlds. Yes, we're here on the edge of Edgewater, and we're just about to go and see, I think it's is it Elias? I can't remember his actual name. I keep pressing that button. I'm going to have to get used to not doing that as much. But yeah, we were going to go and find his secret weapon. We'll do that in a minute. But we're going to go and have a word with the grave guy and... I don't know how these things should just die, but they're going to.
Hey, Miss Parvati. Come for a visit? Lovely to see you about, Miss Parvati.
Things going all right, Silas?
Been keeping him careful and true, miss.
Well, someone fancies Miss Parvati.
Best to ask her yourself.
My dad's buried here. Silas watches over him when I can't leave the house. Oh. Well, thanks.
I might put on a voice.
Something I can do for you?
Hey, about those fees you wanted.
Run into any trouble?
Conrad says he can't afford
Conrad's
to pay.
barbershop is a yawning pit that swallows his every bit. I keep telling him he should cut a few corners. Skimp out on the disinfectant. You gotta put the squeeze on Conrad. Find some dirt on him. Maybe check his back room.
That's what she said.
That's the word, extortion. Been on the tip of my tongue all day.
Okay, I've got a sword. Let's go. Borst worst. It's not the worst unless it's the Borst worst. Sounds like a great advert. Charging a melee power attack after a right to left swing will prepare a strong sweep attack across the white. Okay. Whatever.
What can I do for you?
I don't know.
Go ahead.
Never mind. Conrad, reception shut himself. This is bad. Company's gonna have to call it for what it is. Destruction of Spencer's trust property. Eugene was an asset and someone has to pay for his body price. This is gonna ruin us, so I was thinking that we could pawn off his teeth. Eugene had a full set of gold teeth, heirlooms passed down from his family or something. You're processing his body right, just dig around them, pry them out, we sell the teeth somewhere nice and quiet. Use the bits to pay his body price and nobody's the wiser. What do you think? Don't write back, in fact, don't talk to me at all. Just give me a signal next time you see me. Waggle your eyebrows. Phyllis. Close the door, woman. You don't want him seeing. Gonna steal shit. Is that the extortion? I don't understand. I'll take a shit nonetheless.
What can I do for you? You know about Eugene? How?
I just went in the back room. You probably should have known. I'm a mind reader.
You were probably poking around my things. I really shouldn't leave my letters sitting out in the open. Eugene's golden teeth were a family heirloom, representing 3 generations of poor dental hygiene. He took them to his grave.
They're probably worth a few bits.
More than a few. Those teeth were his personal savings. I can't ask Silas to dig up a man's body and pry a few teeth loose from his jaw just to pay my bills. Can I?
Are you asking rhetorically? Because if you're being serious... Ugh, gross.
Desperate measures, Miss Holcomb. Desperate measures. I'm going to have to ask Silas to dig up those teeth. It's the only way I'm paying my gravesite fees.
Okay.
Here you are. Gravesite papers affixed with my signature and an IOU. Eugene was not a suicide. He put a bullet in his brain, yes, but that's largely a technicality. I was the one who prepared Eugene's body for interment. I discovered symptoms of the plague on his corpse, and I discovered medicine in his pocket. Lots of medicine. Eugene overdosed on adrenatime, which is known to cause psychosis and paranoia as possible side effects. The paranoia drove him to take his own life.
Ah, that's horrible. I'm gonna turn that light off now. Not. That's horrible.
It's a miracle of bureaucracy. If Eugene's death were filed as a suicide, we'd all pay the price for his crime. We can all thank our lucky stars that young Eugene was hopped up on medication and suffered its predictable side effect. I included it all in my official report. I'd like to think I saved Edgewater a great deal of money. We never could have paid the fines associated with a suicide.
Okay. This game is like tons interesting, and you get to learn a lot about sort of. Actually, is there a mission we can do in here? No, we have to leave for that one as well. Oh, fudging. Yeah.
You're not a big drinker, are you?
You read the latest report?
Only the part that said we ain't making our quotas.
Devin's folked.
I'm here. Oh, alright. I will return to Ludwig. We'll do this and then we'll do the Silas one. And then we'll do the main mission. So the main idea of this episode really today is just get the main mission done. And we need to do some shooting. We actually haven't done any shooting since the start of the game, which is a little bit depressing. I sort of wanted to do some of the shooting. Right, we are going to run around here. I like the colour. Everything about this game is amazing. What separates this from the likes of Fallout and games like it is the colour scheme, and it nearly puts No Man's Sky to sort of semi-shame in just on how good the game looks. I mean, colour palette wise, they've sort of. No, is that Volcano? Sick.
Bring us honor, soldier. Feast your eyes, soldier. This here is a genuine Spacer's Choice injury customizing unit, designed to deliver a lethal blast of electrical discharge.
Yes, that's
I call it the Hand of the Law.
discharge.
You ever want to see a mechanical flailing around like a grounded fish? You stick a couple thousand volts in its guts. With compliments from old Ludwig. Fun. This ain't some quarterly performance review, soldier. Ours is a grave and sacred duty.
It is.
Time's come for you to journey down into the black heart of the enemy's camp. I'm talking about the old geothermal plant. Unfortunately, the old plant lies outside my board-given jurisdiction. You'll need to get a passcode from the boss.
This is like
Steve
win-win
Thompson.
right now. I'm glad I went back to this mission.
I've been after a passcode for years. Boss said no on account of my gross incompetence with all matters related to security. I need you to get us the brain of a mechanical. Well, not exactly a brain. Anatomically speaking, what we're looking for is a logic module.
And where am I supposed to find one of these?
There's the rub. If a mechanical breaks down, the logic module fries. So you can't rip one out of its corpse. You're going to have to find an intact model somehow.
I don't reckon so. I work with gears and pistons and such. Stuff you can put hands to. Computers and mechanical brains are outside my ken.
You know, she names the mechanicals she fixes. Calls them Bess and Clancy and so on. You keep a careful eye on her. Could be a sympathizer. If you die horribly, I will pour out a can of 0G to your memory.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'll leave you now. You're weird. You've got an weapon modification. Install mods at the workbench to upgrade your weapons. Changing damage type, adding a scope, improving rate of fire. Cool. Okay. So we know the logic module's there. That's fine. What we're going to do now, let's head... so that's over there, which is where our mission is anyway. But first, before that... so I don't know where. It's that one. It's that way. I won't worry about that in a minute. We won't do that one right now. Let's do the grave matter because we're in the middle of that one. Wow. Bugged me out.
Fancy threads. That some kind of hibernation suit?
Yeah, it is. It actually 100% is.
Yeah? What about him? Well, yeah. It's what I'm contractually obligated to do. What's this about? Yeah. Funny thing, Eugene's body ain't where it's supposed to be. The night we was supposed to commend his body to the earth, I had his grave all dug up and ready, right? And so I thought, I'll just rest my eyes a bit. When I woke up, his body was gone. Spirited away, vanished. The footprints nearby suggested that Eugene was stolen by marauders. Or he rose from the dead.
Likely the second one then. Let's go with...
Let me know if you find anything. Yeah? Former people, yeah. Marauders been raiding my graves, you see. Hence the armed guards. Oh no. They are after the most precious loot of all. Spacer's Choice Company property. If those marauders swipe any more bodies out of my cemetery, company's gonna duck my pay.
I love his voice. It's so seriously brilliant. Thanks for your time. I'm going to leave you now. I don't really know what to do with him. Oh, I assume... So armor 3. I assume that this armor's better. I mean, we could equip it with like a bit of a marauder. Oh wow, he's naked. I quite like this thing, but these things dangle. Right, yeah, no, I assume that we're going to wear that, and you wear the helmet. I'm pretty sure you can change. That's locked. Okay. You can change whether or not you see the helmet when you play, which is good news. Make a pick. Worry about all that afterwards.
Grave digging's a fine profession. You run into any trouble?
Yeah, I did.
Reliable work from a freelancer. That's gonna take some getting used to. Abernathy was sick? With the plague? That's disgusting. I shook hands with the guy. I needed his fees because of his name. A for Abernathy. He was at the top of my list, you see? And I'll buy you a drink sometime.
Nice. We don't need money. Well, we probably do. If enemies are hostile, but your reputation isn't killed on sight, leaving in a few days will calm things down. The people of... Okay, that's cool. Right, what mission's it giving me now? Now comes the power, which is sort of what we need to do, so... Okay, so we'll just do that. That's quite a lot of gravestones and stuff. Sort of sucks for the people who live here, I suppose.
Here they come! That's the last of them!
Oh, wow, they're actually going to attack me. Vending machines. Vending machines are for a variety of items to purchase, mostly from our company. A hack skill of 20 or higher allows you to sell items to the vending machine. Restricted items on the vendor can only be purchased when you have a higher enough reputation. It's a shame I don't know what any of this shit does yet. Oh, you can buy like armor and stuff. How much money have I got? Yay. That's cool. 17 defense, so that's 17 armor. 9 armor. Nice. I'm assuming, what do I need to hack? You need hack modules to hack that room. Okay. Sort of get it. Can you buy them from here? I doubt you can. Adrenaline booster. Oh yeah, there's some more weapons here. Sick. No, we can't sell. That's fine. Oh, some more orders.
Heading back. Be right there.
Come on, come on. Oh, she's like proper hurt.
Yeah, huh?
You okay?
That's on account of how I never met her.
You never met your mum?
She was in another division of the Spacer's Choice family. She worked in the Vale a few months, sorting the cannery computers. Her contract said any kids she had, expected or not, belonged to her office from the time of conception. So when I was born, I got sent here. It's sensible. Dad just fixed machines. She did some kind of crazy math, high-level stuff. Better to raise me on his time than hers.
I suppose.
You mean about the mission being too clean? I know, but Vicker says the universe is a machine, that it runs by law. Real machines have gunked up oil, scratches, and worn bits. You can tell they've seen handling, been used by folk. The machine Vicker sees is one ain't never been run. It's not for people to live in. It's something on a museum shelf, under glass.
Hmm.
Fixing the universe is a job for somebody way better than the likes of me.
In the bar, you asked if I was a drinker.
Sorry. I know, it's none of my business.
I'm going to guess you're not a drinker yourself.
Strong drink makes me sick. And it makes me real sad. I start thinking about things I oughtn't, and then...
It's depression.
Well, never mind that. You got better things to think on.
She
Sorry.
definitely used to be an alkie. If you want to talk, I'm happy to listen.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said anything.
Okay. I'll have strange danger. We're going there. Oh, that's an exploding canister. I could have definitely used it on these guys. Okay, so we should have now, if I go back, this badass number thing, trip blade. That's not actually as powerful. Damage 50. It just does more damage in one hit. Can we break these down? Oh yeah. I just figures we don't need them. Ugh. That's gross. Whoa, crap. Shit. I just got him bleeding, didn't I? Didn't like that. There we go, yeah. Oh, actually, let's not do that. We need to go north still. Let's head up here and see what's up here. I think it's quite clever because the game isn't an open world game. It's like a hub world. So like there's different like locations and stuff within the game. What's that? Just a light, I suppose. Botanical lab.
Move along, stranger. We don't want any trouble.
I want to get a bit close to me.
I don't know you.
No, you
Whatever
don't.
you're looking for, it ain't here. Move along.
I'm looking for Adelaide. I need some answers.
Answers, huh? You must be one of those philosophicals. Already got ourselves one of those.
Reed said something about former workers living out in the wilderness.
Yeah, that's us. And you can tell Thompson we're doing just fine by ourselves. If you're gonna start wandering around my camp, know that I got my sights on you.
Where can I find Adelaide?
Over in the hothouse, tending crop. Enough with the questions. No offense, but I've got a lot on my mind.
You and me both. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to repair my ship.
Well, look at you, buzzing around the Aether with your very own ship. Rest of us gotta make do with the ground at our feet. No, I'm sorry. That was unworthy of me. Lady named Zoe went missing some nights ago. Just up and vanished without a trace. Now I'm pacing around wondering if marauders got to her. It's not like Zoe to go wandering. Figured she might be out scavenging, but that ain't exactly her talent. Can't imagine where she's gone. Vale's a wide place. She could be anywhere.
unless Marauders got to her, then parts of her could be in a lot of places. That's an awful thing to say. Don't worry about it. I'll find it.
Appreciate it. Honest.
I got questions
Tell you what
about
I
her.
can.
Good. How well do you know?
Well, enough to know we never got on. Zoe and Stefan were close. If anybody knows the workings of her mind, he does.
You seem so personable. Kind of that's sarcasm. Any idea where she might be hiding?
Could be. Dangers aplenty out there. No telling why Marauders would steal somebody like Zoe. Got no useful skill as far as I can tell.
Any chance you can point me to someone specific, not just out there?
Marauder gang just moved into the districts a little ways east. Their numbers are growing. Gotta come from somewhere.
Any idea where she might be hiding?
Vex me. If she told anybody, they ain't telling me. I'd check her room, but I got yelled at for snooping once already. Little ways ago. She was always obsessing over her serial dramas. Wanted to see what the fuss was about. What is it?
I'll leave you be. We'll worry about Zoe in a minute. Let's go and speak to this woman. This is nice. Like I said, the settings are really, really good. This is like obviously a darker setting, a bit more derelict than place. Oh, I like this. Oh, very nice.
Oh gosh, it's so pretty.
If you're hungry, there's meat turning on the spit outside. If you're bearing illness, find a place to lay your head down and I'll fetch you a poultice. Whatever your troubles with Edgewater, leave them at the gates and be welcomed here.
I already can't
Any
destroy this place.
questions, dear?
You must be Adelaide.
I have been called that, among other things. Green Thumb, grandmother, the strange old lady who keeps flowers. But yes, Adelaide will do just fine.
Excuse me, Miss McDevitt? Sorry, it's just... You got such pretty trees in here.
Why, thank you. You're Robert's girl, aren't you? I remember when you were but a sprout. Thomas speaks of you often. Are you staying long? You should try some of my tobaccorn tea. I brew it in an old spittoon, but it's been cleaned.
Oh, I should fucking hope so. Is this your greenhouse?
No, dear. The garden belongs to us all. Life is the gift of the universe, and the universe yields its bounty equally, absent of prejudice.
I'm surprised you even managed to grow anything out here.
The soil around the Vale went sour years ago, but I found a way to sweeten it back up. The secret recipe is a little bit of elbow grease, a dash of love, and a heaping pile of special fertilizer.
Looks like you made a home for yourself out here.
A home for anyone who's ever turned their backs on Edgewater. A home for those of us with nowhere left to go and nothing to lose. So, like the spores of the puffball, cast on the wind and alighting on fresh soil, we put down new roots.
Why did you leave your old home?
It is an unpleasant story, dear. But the short of it is that sometimes one wakes up and realizes the place that was once her home for much of her life has changed. The home in which we spent our lives has left us behind, and so we must move on. And that is as much as I will say on the subject.
Reed sent me to make peace with you.
Reed Thompson? You here on behalf of that cold-eyed reptile? Let's hear it. What's Reed's idea of peace, then?
Reed asked you to consider coming back to town. He's willing to make amends.
Make amends? Spare me. Only thing Reed knows how to make is a mess. Like everything else that comes out of Edgewater, that peace offering is canned. I and my own are living just fine out here by ourselves.
Reed asked me to divert power over to him. He mentioned a geothermal plant.
He would do such a thing. The question is, why would you agree to his plans?
I don't, but that's... Your camp has a power regulator. I need to repair my ship.
Cannery's got a regulator. You want ship parts, you ought to rip them out of the cannery's guts and leave us be.
I agree.
If you're going down to the plant, you should divert power away from Edgewater and toward our end of the grid.
Moral choice.
Think about it. You'd be liberating an entire town from a lifetime of service to that odious cannery. Seems the sort of thing a hero would do.
What have you got against the town?
You've seen that miserable excuse for a town with your own lamps. Hollowed out workers laboring their lives away at the cannery, living off whatever scrap Spacer's Choice throws them. You know that's true, don't you, Ms. Holcomb? Your father died of overwork. His heart gave out.
He was tired all the time, sure, but he was old, ma'am, and he raised me all by his lonesome.
Look what they did to this child. Lost her family to the company, and still she defends them.
What do you have against people trying to make a living?
It's not much of a living. Every single person in that town has sold themselves to Spacer's Choice. The company owns them. Body, blood, and bones. You've been there. You've seen it. All anyone ever does is toil over a cannery. They give their lives for some heartless corporation, and then they're tossed into a Spacer's Choice brand cemetery.
I guess you have a point.
So, what do you say? Divert power over to us. Shut down that abominable cannery for good.
I bet you so many people have played through this game and definitely diverted power to her. And I'm semi-tempted not to do it, but I'll consider it.
I trust you will listen to your conscience.
So do I. Cool, 10 more points. Right, Ricket, let's... we definitely... There you go. We've really upped. Put 5 on that. And we'll put 5 on tech for now. Apply. Yeah. And then we've got a perk. We've got a new perk. Cool. I mean, we could up our base armor. I think that might be a good idea. We can add some things to this time slowdown thing. I'm not a lone wolf, so... Oh, what's that? An ability to unlock fast travel when incumbent. I'm not too worried about that right now. Let's increase our base armor. I think that's where things could come in pretty useful. Oh, it's broken. I guess I need a workbench. I like the fact that you can go in the weapons and you've got all those stats on the right hand side there, and they all make a difference to how the weapon fires and everything like that, which is pretty cool. So that's a level. I don't think it makes too much of a difference. But these are 100%. Let's try that. I mean, we can give that a go, I suppose. Cool. And then in the codex, we of course. That's something new. Vending machines. No, it's not it. Item repair. So yeah, keeping your company gear tip top is expected. You can roll over to workbench. Yeah, we figured as much. It's got like a cross between like Star Wars like sad music and Fallout music. 100%, hasn't it? You can hear it and it's like it's very emotional. Right, we need to go to the geothermal plant.
Oh, that's Thomas. He used to follow me around before he left the cannery.
Okay, this guy? NASA Desert. This guy? This guy? This guy over here? Let's talk to Thomas.
Oh, didn't see you there. I was just occupying myself with a little engineering. Whoa, Miss Parvati. Hey, you're, what, how are you? Hi. Hello.
Are you, are things safe out here? How are you keeping?
Great, just great. I've been trying to keep stuff running, just like you. Only I'm not so... Wait, they didn't kick you out, did they?
Oh gosh, no, I'm just along with this fella here.
Are you from town? I mean, you don't exactly look like you're from town.
I'll take that as a compliment.
Well, what I meant was you're reasonably well armed and don't look stricken with plague. Sorry, I just wasn't sure if you were from town or if you were one of us. Something's been chewing at me, you see. Fact is, I've been, well, lying. To everybody here. Camp thinks I'm a mechanical genius, but I couldn't fix a busted chair.
That's not good. It's never too late. Let's have a look. Why are you telling me this?
Well, because I needed to tell somebody. You ain't one of us, and you ain't from Edgewater, so
Fair,
maybe you won't judge me as harshly. You ever heard of the Young Spacer's Guide to Mechanical Engineering? Comes in a set of 3. If I had my hands on one of those data pads, I could teach myself the ins and outs.
Those are good. My dad kept a copy with him when he was working in the cannery.
I know the old community center kept a copy. Should find another one back in town. If you could find me even one of those pads, I'd be greatly obliged.
Oh, I'll let you know if
Would
I find
you?
anything.
I'd be grateful.
You're welcome. I want to ask you something.
What's on your mind?
You say you pretended to be an engineer. How you been getting away with it?
Luck, mostly. Nothing's needed serious repairing yet. Nothing's broken down that we can't just replace with something scavenged from the outskirts. Oh, I can swap out a water filter or charge up a battery and go on pretending I know what I'm doing, but the moment I'm asked to do any real engineering, I'm in trouble.
I should go. Alright. Where are you, woman? Let's go. Okay, so we've got a couple of things we need to do, but I do want to do a main mission, so we are going to head down to the plant. Spencer's choice right now have quite a positive happiness about me. These are all the main primary groups. These two are not so much, but I'll definitely be part of the deserters. I don't, you know, Spencer's choice can go fuck themselves. Yeah, let's go this way. Right. So, if we go journal, quests, divert the power. Oh, it's the same thing. That's cool. We can go in this building. Unless we can get our guy to sleep. Sleep for 8 hours? I guess it's like you feel rest in the bed, relax and move time forward. In supernova difficulty, you can only rest your bed on the ship. There's nothing really much in here. There's a couple of like lockpick things, mech locks or whatever they're called. So that's okay. Let's head up here. This is the geothermal plant. Okay. Okay. I guess these robots are going to be like...
I've always wanted to poke around in here.
System alert. Beginning security patrol.
Incoming! We're knocking through!
not really sure what to do here. Do I have another gun? Let's check. They're all assault rifles. To do. Okay. I'll lure into like these blue boxes, I suppose.
horrifying. I genuinely didn't know I was doing what I was doing, but oh well. Let's see if I can change my armor. What have we got? We've got it's 9, so it's definitely better. So we've got a makeshift field pressure suit, and we've got there we go. Now we look cool. Super Trooper. The downside is that pistol's going to break soon. We don't have another one. There's a venom machine in this. We buy a pistol? I mean, no. I haven't seen the much use of using the melee yet, but maybe I'm just not that sort of player. I don't know.
For me. Let's go! Knock it through!
Doesn't last very long. So much easier when you actually have a gun that does something semi-useful. Let's go to the geothermal plant. Let's hope the loading time isn't as drastic as when you leave a town. That could be a problem. Serviceable, nice.
The control room should be off to the right. I hope we're doing the right thing.
Well, I don't think we will need. Accessible file. I had to borrow a copy of the Young Spacer's Guide to Mechanical Engineering. Okay. Radio's been spluttering. I need a reference. Return the copy to the repair bay. That's where that is. Chaos everywhere. Mechanical's gone haywire. Gunfire. Hearing some screams. Oh law. I think that's someone's leg. Would like to leave early for the day. Please deduct delinquency pay from my pay. Thank you. Proud member of Special Trust family. So we do need to go to the repair bay. Because that's where one of the books are. I assume.
All performing.
Get ready!
Shit, didn't even see it.
Try something else! Nice hit!
Shit, the fuck is that? There we have it. You didn't die for nothing. He's dead. Let's go. He died for nothing. Use the terminal. Plant status. Emerald Vale geothermal operating at 22% efficiency. Power is currently being distributed to Edgewater, Sultana Cannery, and the Botanical Power. I don't know. Oh, we have to reactivate the wire.
3 switches. That'll be easy enough.
Yeah, you say that, right? And now we've got to go and kill some fuckers. Personnel files. Just Higgins again. That whole head found him fiddling around one of the mechanicals, so I had to write him up for tampering with company property. Just in case I'm reading this as a couple of days from now, I'm feeling bad at what I've done. Let me just remind myself that I've warned him before. He's always a little crooked in the skull. He's been working with some logic module. I confiscated it. Should be in my lockaway room. Yeah, we're definitely getting that. Doesn't sit right with me. The company's been replacing our guards with automatic mechanicals. At this rate, I'm going to end up as chief of security with no staff. Just a small army of mechanicals knocking about, guns pointed which way. Company tells us they're safe, programmed to treat humans like their own. People are liable to break down, but mechanical, well, I don't know. Doesn't sit right with me. Worst has happened. Mechanicals are going crazy. Locked myself down here, just trying to gather my courage. Going to make a mad dash for the control room. Might be able to shut things down. Will delete my entry if I ever return. Greetings, security staff. This is an automated message initiated by Special Choice Worker Security Protocols. The security lockdown has been initiated. This is not attached to your behaviour during this lockdown will be reviewed during your quarterly audit. Anxiety is a common side effect of life-threatening situations endangered by security lockdowns. Fight back against anxiety with an ice-cold 0G brew. 0G brew. That's the L. That's good for what ails you. That's just another door. We know.
I don't think I've got one. What we'll do, if we equip, I haven't had a chance to use the scythe. Have I been using that the whole time? Maybe I have.
Here we go. We made it.
Ah, smashed him up. He did not like that. Shit.
Here we go.
Let's work. It's Jeremy.
Self-diagnostics complete. Navigation systems operational. Combat systems operational. It's not the best choice. It's the spacer's choice. Hostile actions towards spacer's choice mechanics are contrary to logical directive, in compliance with spacer's choice policy. All defect.
Alright.
Affirmative. Mechanicide protocols loaded. Awaiting confirmation.
Yes. What's this? Corporate just sent a team of technicians to conduct mechanicals, every century in drones, not much less to say no. Just gets that audited. I'd like to formally express how grateful I am of the part of Spencer's Choice family, Spencer's Choice Brad. Just finished a routine maintenance on one of my cats. Found some strange modifications and logic modules. All I know is that modifications are introduced as a recent refit. Company went through trouble refitting every single long ago. Guessing this was one of those. My hands on logic will not have to do with experimentation. Oh, so it's that goes wrong, I suppose. Borrowed a copy of Young Spencer's, I think it's volume 3. I need something to read down in the pit. Much obliged. I don't know what that is.
There's 2 more. What'll happen to Miss McDevitt's folk if we send power to the Vale? Something you need? He's just interested in fixing stuff. I'm just glad he's alive. That he's okay. I mean, when Mr. Thompson said he was fired, we all expected the worst. If he wants to learn about engineering, we should help him get those data pads he wants. I'd like to do that for him.
Okay. back to that.
You're not real. You're not real. You're not real. You're not real. Get away! You're not real. You're not real. Get away! Get away! Get away!
He's playing the same soundtrack. That's quite funny.
You're not real. You're not real. Get away from me, Phantom. Shoot! Scram! You can talk? The Phantom's never talked before. I knew I shouldn't have eaten that sprat raw. See? See, Higgins? This is why you must always boil your sprats before ingesting.
It's true.
Of course. Do excuse me. I experience brief flashes of mania during which I am visited by the phantoms of my imagination. Chester D. Higgins. The D stands for definitely not insane. I use it as a reminder. Oh, Higgins has been many things over the years. Sprat Wrangler, Saltuna Critic, Aetherwave Personality, Chairman of the Board, Galactic Defender, Sisty Pig Tycoon. I've come a long way for someone who started off as a simple engineer right here in this plant.
I think that's what you are.
Mechanicals lost their bolts. Opened fire on anything that moved. It was pandemonium. I was on cleaning duty at the time. My old boss had me scrubbing pipes when the killing started. So, as usual, I missed out.
That's a good thing to miss out on.
I specialized in automechanicals, drones, sentries. Repaired them, maintained, upgraded. Did it all from my old workroom just over in the next section. Look, I don't want to fall into any trouble with the mechanicals. If they wise up to our plans, they will come for us. With prodding irons.
We'll persuade him.
You know, you remind me of myself back when I was an intergalactic adventurer. I discovered a flaw. Their hostility levels were hardwired to maximum. There's no changing that, but you could rewrite their targeting protocol so they attack each other instead. Yes, that's exactly it. I see you're also versed in the noble art of mechanical engineering. There's a behavior control terminal in the other room. It should have options to change how the mechanicals act, including whom they shoot at. Oh, that reminds me. You'll need my passcode to access the behavior control terminal. Here, let me just write it down for you. Funny thing, I was working on a logic module just before the mayhem started. Security chief found me and confiscated the logic module. The tail. Definitely start with the tail. If you're feeling adventurous, the ears are a particular delicacy.
Yeah, that wasn't what I was going to ask you.
Jimmy'd opened the vending machines. That lasted a good couple of months. Eventually, I had to resort to more unconventional means of filling my insides.
So you ate sprats.
Braised. Boiled, charred, skewered. Sprats are good eating, friend. Chock full of brain food. I specialized in automa...
We did that already. Yeah, we'll leave. We won't let them anymore. Yeah, he had a book, though. He was definitely reading the book. There we go. One of those books. the moment, the game is absolutely stunning. It's gorgeous, and I like it's similar it is to like the Fallout games without being too obviously related to them, if that makes sense. I will say that on a controller, X is used for everything.
Mind the steam. You're liable to get scalded.
Processing. Sweeping the area.
Nice one!
Oh shit.
That's the last of them.
Oh, Jeremy died. Jeremy was taking them out. Good old Jesse. Oh, shit, Chisel. Right, so... Oh, right, it's through there. We got... Oh, workbench, yay! We actually did need the workbench, right? Oh, have we got another pistol? When did I put that? And it's got a better mag size as well. Nice. So we can tinker with weapons, and it makes them slightly better. And then we can repair weapons. I'm not worried about that weapon. Okay, so, and then we can break down weapons, which is what we're going to need to do. So these sabers, for instance, like, let's break down, we'll keep one. These staffs will break down. Assault rifles, I don't think any of them have mods, so we can just break down all of them. The light machine gun's new, so we'll keep that up. We could break down armor as well, nice. Break that down. Break that down, I suppose. Right, okay, so we can tinker to improve something, or we can modify something. So right now, for instance, this pistol already has a mod. We can mag a zap and it'll allow it to fire electric, and that might be useful against these robots actually. I don't know whether we can do that with this as well. Yeah, we can. Oh, okay. So yeah, we might want to do that. Plus, as well, this impact hammer, which we definitely should have now. Anyway, but if we tinker with this, we can actually increase its quality. Let's repair it first, I suppose. I'm not worried about the pistol because we've got a modified pistol. And then if we get go back to the inventory, let's move. Oh crap, where's that other pistol gone? I swear we had another pistol. Like I thought we did. Well, we want the impact hammer. Oh wow, look. Oh, cool. I swear we had another pistol. Yeah, we did this one.
Is it just me, or am I going mental? But then when I go into here, it's not there. There's definitely only one pistol there. Is it because she's holding one, maybe? Pavarotti, yeah, she's holding it. That's fine. She can keep it, I suppose. She's got the impact hammer, which is pretty useful. Oh, yeah, you better keep them, actually. You're pretty useless. You're not even using your weapons in the fight anyway. I better equip the weapons again then. So I do need to repair that weapon, but I don't think I have enough to repair that pistol. Past 16, Jesus. I suppose I'm outside. Still don't equip it. Flipping out. Just equip the pistol, equip the flipping light machine gun. Can't get in there anyway.
If we send the power to Miss McDevitt, what happens to the veil?
I'll die.
Security enforcement mode.
I'll suppose continue. I don't know how the autosave went. I can't believe I actually died. Wow. Oh, we're here anyway. Okay. We'll load that again. Oh, we have some decent heavy now. Let's load that, I suppose.
If we send the power to Miss McDevitt, what happens to the veil?
Identified. Performing an area sweep now.
Nice. Well, at least we killed the one in the end. He's got no head left.
That's the last. I'm not sure what the right is. Alls I know is the decision's final.
I do have a little bit of a question though. Like, why, if I can just increase the power, because clearly that's what I'm doing now, is increasing it, then surely they're getting more power for both of them, so it doesn't no longer matter. Or is that just me overthinking this game? There's complexities. Oh, that's like a door lock, nice. It's quite clever, isn't it?
Once we do this, there's no going back. Hey, mister? Look, I know you want your power regulator and all, but
Yep.
I just gotta ask you. Do you understand what you're about to do?
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't mind hearing your opinion, though.
I don't think you should cut off Edgewater's power. I think it would be cruel. I'm sorry. That just sort of came out all at once. Edgewater's hurting. We've been losing workers year after year, and corporate hardly ever sends replacements. There's barely enough Saltuna to fill our bellies anymore. But the town's got some good people in it. Decent, hard-working folk just living their lives the only way they know how. They don't deserve to be punished. Miss McDevitt's built something beautiful. Somehow she's talked the ground into giving life again. It's plain to see she's made the Vale a better place. Fed the hungry, tended the sick. Gave a home to those that had none. But Miss McDevitt delights in Edgewater's suffering. She wants to hurt the town. Do you really want to be party to that kind of hatred? Well, that sure sounds like Mr. Thompson. If he was standing here, I imagine he'd remind us of how we're all one big, happy Spacer's Choice family. In Mr. Thompson's eyes, those deserters are still part of the Spacer's Choice family. The family must work together in order to survive. I hate to say it, but I think Mr. Thompson's got a point. Unless those deserters come back, Edgewater's as good as dead. Cutting off their power might be the only way. Sorry, I didn't mean to babble on like that. I felt like I had to say something.
Oh, man. I like, don't worry about it. I was barely listening to you. I like that. It's a good line, but I'm glad you did.
Really? I mean, wow. Thanks. No one's ever told me those words in that order.
So quite frankly, I've got to make a choice. And current status now is still 22% efficiency. That makes a bit more sense. Yes. Oh, this is so hard. Redirecting the power is an irreversible procedure. Yeah. It was happening before anyway. Oh man, it's generally a hard decision. Let's redirect power to Edgewater or redirect power to the Botanical Library. Well, this is going to be something for the next episode. If you wish to find out which decision I made, please join us in episode 3 of The Outer Worlds on YouTube. But I'm going to leave it there for now. How about that for a cliffhanger? Do I redirect the power to Edgewater, or do I redirect the power to the Botanical Library? I said library, laboratory. It's been a long night. We'll soon find out. I'll catch you next time on the Flippity Flip.